What is up, guys? It's your boy Rick Kakis, and today we've got some brand spanking new Destiny 2 news, courtesy of the Bungie weekly update that has just gone live, revealing official information. And so, let's get started. Now, first things first, what has been going on in-game this week? Well, we have the continuation of the Solstice of Heroes 2023 event, and yesterday, Bungie dropped a big article detailing changes to the Destiny 2 economy. But we're going to talk about that in a sec because we have some supplemental information provided within the TWAB. Let's get started here with absolutely the biggest piece of information revealed today, and that is information on the upcoming new raid. So with Season 22, the next season, there's going to be a brand new reprised raid. So that means a raid that has existed within Destiny 1 or potentially Destiny 2. Bungie, as you can see, is still keeping the information on this raid under wraps, except today, they just revealed that the next raid is going live on Friday, September 1st, 2023. And this is actually very interesting because remember, the next season goes live on August 22nd. So the first Friday is actually August 25th. And if we were following the 3 days until the raid schedule that King's Fall followed, that's when it would go live. September 1st is actually the second Friday after the new season has gone live. So you have more than a week to prep for this raid, and I think that's absolutely fantastic. I love when there's a little bit more time to get ready for a raid. It lets you have fun and focus on what the new season is offering and not just have an absolute grind fest trying to prepare for the raid that launches in 3 days. So I'm really happy they did this, and they do say that because it's a reprised raid that it'll have these features. So contest mode will be enabled for 48 hours again, so we're on that 2-day model where it's going to be harder, like 20 light underneath what you are usually, and clearing the raid with contest mode active is the first step to access challenge mode in the Director and the Secret Triumph. Completing the Secret Triumph, which consists of a curated list of challenges that must be completed in challenge mode, will be how a fire team can snag that world's first title and get that sweet belt. To enforce the Triumph requirements in challenge mode, your fire team will wipe if you fail the success conditions during any encounter. So for anyone who hasn't done a reprised raid before, essentially it's going to be, again, artificially harder in terms of actual level for 48 hours. You have to beat it once, normally just doing whatever tactics you want, and then you actually unlock that challenge mode, and then you have to go and beat each encounter with like an additional challenge. And usually these challenges are identical to the raid encounter challenges that unlock much later on and offer double reward. And if you're the first person to do that, you get the world first belt and all that stuff. But for everyone else who's not the first person, you pretty much just get an emblem. So there you go, guys. Let's move on from there to a lot of the talk about the economy. So what happened yesterday is that Bungie released this article saying a few interesting things. I did do a full video if you guys want to check that out. I would recommend it, but to break things down, essentially there's going to be more ritual rewards more often, and you can now focus new ritual weapons. So like the new Crucible gun, you can focus it the exact season it comes out to make things easier to farm. And also, here are the new caps for some very important materials. So Ascendant Shards is going from 10 to 30, Alloys from 10 to 30, and Prisms from 50 to 100. Now, this actually did cause a lot of controversy because it turns out, although the cap is increasing, Bungie is going to remove the ability to store these resources in your Postmaster. So actually, if you're someone like me, a hardcore player, who's been storing them in your Postmaster, you have 10 for each of your 3 characters and 10 in your inventory, you actually have 40 right now, and so increasing the cap will actually cause your cap to decrease. Now, in the long run, is it going to matter that much? No. Like, having that new cap, not having to manage, different postmasters, overall, this is still going to be pretty beneficial for the vast majority of players. However, I've not seen a compelling argument yet as to why they couldn't have just made the new cap 40. So no one loses anything and everybody is happy, right? You can't make the argument that 40 as a cap would ruin the economy because people are storing 40 right now, just inconveniently. So it seems like Bungie has these opportunities for a perfect slam dunk, make everyone happy, and instead they just yeet the ball into the crowd and cause controversy for no reason. I don't see why an extra 10 would hurt anyone ever. Now you may say, oh, storage space, technical issues. They used to add 17 new currencies every season and the game, didn't have technical issues, so I don't think 10 extra Ascendant shards would suddenly cause your PlayStation to light on fire. I just don't believe it. Anyways, again, in the grand scheme of things, most people are going to benefit from this, and certainly it's going to be easier to manage, and hopefully they can now go back and raise the caps of a lot of other currencies, stuff like Glimmer. I know people are running short of all the time, especially because focusing has some pretty steep Glimmer costs, so yeah, I just think that these arbitrary caps to limit how much you can play and have fun in the game, at the end of the day, I think you should go the route of letting people grind, letting people have fun, let people enjoy the game, and if they get to progress in next season a little bit faster and masterwork their gear faster, who really cares, guys? It's a video game, let's focus on fun. Now, some additional information that wasn't in yesterday's article that you're absolutely going to want to know about is that next season, guys, we're going to get the rotating exotic missions. So stuff like the Presage mission, etc. Those are going to become available and rotate. And importantly for the Dead Man's Tale, they say it will be added to the loot pool for the exotic mission rotator when Presage is available. This will also make the Dead Man's Tale craftable, so get those crafting parts on because it's about to go down for DMT lovers. And that also means that because you can craft it or grab it from the exotic mission rotator, this exotic scout rifle won't be a part of Xur's wares in Season 22. So if you want to get your hands on this like right away, if you're not someone who wants to do the exotic mission, you have to do it now before Season 22. And also it could mean that if you do want to do the mission, you just wait, because there's no point in spending your resources buying it from Xur if now you can, in Season 22, just get it, and like Bungie says, you can craft it now. So no more waiting for the Xur god roll of the DMT, you can literally make it yourself. That's pretty darn cool. Now, moving on from there, guys, Bungie has a section talking to the narrative team about the Veil containment activity. And I'll kind of leave this up if you guys want to check it out. And of course, the TWAB is linked in the description. But this activity is a colossal failure. Most people actually didn't even know that you could go back and do Veil containment every single week, right? Like, people were posting some really interesting dialogue because the dialogue updates every single week. And the vast majority of comments were people being like, wait, you can go back? So people didn't even know this activity was a recurring thing. So complete failure on Bungie's part to inform people, because again, I think the actual number, like digging into the statistics when this was all happening, someone calculated it at like 4% of players were going back and doing this activity. So yeah, if you want to learn a ton of lore, get back into Veil containment. But let's move on from there, guys. We have something very interesting, and that is an update from the weapons team about a new hand cannon archetype. So yesterday we learned that one of the Nightfall weapons coming in Season 22 is going to be the Warden's Law hand cannon. Now, this was famous for having a unique intrinsic perk that actually shot 2 bullets for each trigger pull. They were like right next to each other, so it felt like you were basically just shooting a normal hand cannon. But if you have something like 4th times the charm, right, and you're shooting 2 bullets with every single trigger pull, you're triggering that stuff so much easier. But because it's coming back, Bungie is actually making this a full brand new hand cannon archetype. So it won't just be the Warden's Law, it'll start with the Warden's Law, and then we're going to start to see other hand cannons with this new archetype. So, first of all, Bungie says this will have a slightly longer delay between shots. Normal bursts fire at 900 rounds per minute. This one is 600. So normally it's boom-boom. This one is boom-boom, okay? I'm doing my best out here. Now, after that, Bungie says we want to give people a reason to run it over the standard 120 rounds per minute hand cannon. And they say because the weapon is harder to use than a normal hand cannon, in that you must hit 2 shots within a burst with each trigger pull instead of just 1, we decide to allow it to do slightly more critical hit damage and kill just a bit faster than something like the Igneous Hammer. We utilize the damage profile that aggressive frame hand cannons had some years back, dealing up to 90 damage per burst against players, so 25 per body and 45 per crit. Then we are slightly reducing the burst delay, time between bursts themselves as opposed to the time between shots within a burst, so that it has a slightly faster 0.93 time to kill instead of the standard 1 second. So if you land all precision shots, you will kill faster, right, than a 120 hand cannon. And importantly, I would imagine that because you're doing the damage of 120s a while back before they got nerfed, then stuff like Rampage may also really be good on this archetype and let the weapon 2-shot kill, or I guess I should say 2-burst kill. They also say they want to tune the recoil pattern in such a way that it felt manageable at a base level, but still motivated players to utilize perks to improve it. And overall, guys, I'm honestly really excited for this. I wish Bungie would add new weapon archetypes more often. I think it's a great way to increase the diversity of the loot within the game. And so guys, that's it for the important information you need to know about. I hope you enjoyed the video, found it informative, and if you did, please remember to help me out by simply rating and especially sharing this video. If you guys want to see more Destiny 2 content similar to this, don't be afraid to slap that subscribe button. If you want to get in touch with me and keep up to date with the latest channel activity, the best way is to follow me on Twitter at RickCacus. That is linked in the description down below. Again, I hope you enjoyed the video, and as always, have a good day.